Hey guys, Philip Shadler here, and I just got back from the Las Vegas EXP conference, which was amazing. And one of the speakers there was Tarek El Moussa, the guy who created the show Flip Flop, the home flipper show. And it's interesting to hear his story. I never heard his story, how he started out. So anyway, have a look and see what you think.
It all started sitting in a seminar just like this. And one of the themes of this entire conference is anything is possible. Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a story and prove to you that anything is possible, because myself, I grew up with no money in Buena Park, California. And today, I've accomplished some pretty cool things. And I feel like I'm just getting started. So I'm now 41 years old, but I actually got into real estate at the age of 20. And at the time, I was selling Cutco kitchen knives. Anybody have Cutco in your house? Now the real question is, did I sell any of you a knife? There's gotta be one of you. And here's what happened. Well, young dumb Tarek lost his sales bug, put himself out of business. So one day, I'm living in Cerritos, California. I'm at a Washington Mutual ATM. I'm looking at my ATM account balance, and I'm thinking to myself, man, what am I gonna do? Has anyone been there? So here's what I did. I said, oh man, I threw my head up to the right, and it was a sign from God. There was a crooked sign. That sign said, Wise Old Owl, Real Estate School. And I had a defining moment. And a defining moment is a moment in your life that changes the trajectory of your life. And for many of you, this moment right now is your defining moment. So I thought to myself, you know, if I could sell these knives, well, I could probably sell these houses. So of course, I emptied out my account, signed up for real estate. And you know what happened? Everybody told me what an idiot I was. I told everybody, I'm leaving, I want to leave school, I'm going to be a real estate agent. Every single person told me I was going to fail. Everybody told me it was a bad idea. Everybody told me I was too young. Everybody told me it was impossible. But guess what? What's our theme? Anything is possible. Yeah. So, right out of high school, I'm walking through a Ralph's grocery store, and one of my friend's parents walks up to me, and he goes, hey Tarek, what are you up to nowadays? And I'm like, I'm so excited. You guys, all the real estate people, you know, we get excited. And as I'm getting into real estate, he looks at me and he starts laughing. And then he goes, what? You think you're gonna make 6 figures? I said, no, gonna make 7. And I did. So, in real estate, I always tell people, you can make money fast. People always say it takes time, it takes years. No, you can make money fast. And I'm gonna tell you right now how I did it, and I'm gonna tell you how you can do it too. So my first 6 months in the business, young Tarek, sold my high school truck, bought a baby blue Buick Park Avenue off this guy I knew. Had the old school phone in the middle, so I was like all realtor, right? I had the magnets on the side, like the whole thing. And I was 20. All my friends in high school would just make fun of me. Like, everything, you've traded in your lifted truck for a Buick? I said, yeah, of course. So 6 months in the business, I'm holding open houses. I'm doing floor time, which back then all the magazines were out and then people would call. Nobody ever called. So I sat there for months and months and months, failing. I made no money, I got no deals. I was working with buyers, they never bought a house. If they did, it wasn't with me. And then they call me, hey Tarek, actually we just bought a house. I'm like, but I've been showing you houses for 6 months. So this is what happened. Right when I was gonna quit real estate, 20 years old, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to go back to school. I hate school. But I was still going. And man, those are tough times. But one day, there was these 2 ladies in my office. I worked at a very old Coldwell Banker building that used to be a medical office. And these 2 ladies were talking about how stupid real estate agents were for paying for the coaching from this guy named Mike Ferry. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I was 20, so I didn't even know you can get coaching. I only do football coach, baseball coach, hockey coach. I'm like, you get a real estate coach? So when I hear these two people talking negative about it, what do you guys think I did? I said, well, shit, I might need a coach. So then I ended up going to this free event. It was at a Buena Park Athletic Club. It was called Sequoia Athletic Club. Oh, by the way, I'm a Buena Parker. I don't know if you guys know that. Right by not very far. Okay, so Mike Ferry, man, this man changed my life. Like, if there's one thing I can do in my life is touch you the way he touched me. Because by the end of that free event, Mike Ferry convinced me I was unstoppable. He convinced me I could accomplish anything. He convinced me that anything is possible. And at the end of that event, I took a yellow piece of paper, ripped it, took a pen. I wrote, "Hi Mike, my name is Tarek El Moussa. You don't know who I am today, but one day you will." Do you think he knows who I am today? Mike, call me. He still owes me a round of golf, by the way. All right, so here's what happened. I ended up signing up for coaching. Okay, it was $1,000 a month. Guys, I just told you my story. I had no money. I had a credit card. And at the time, me and my girlfriend had broken up, and I had nowhere to go. So I called my mom. I said, "Mom, I gotta move back home." She goes, "You can't." I'm like, "What do you mean I can't?" "Well, I just rented out your bedroom." And I'm like, "Man, how about the garage?" She's like, "You want to sleep in the garage?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll sleep in the garage. I just need a bed. I can go into the house and use the shower, right?" So she's like, "Fine." So literally, I get to my mom's house. I hit the clicker. The garage door opens. I roll the bed in. I got off Craigslist, and that's where I lived, right next to my dirt bike and my jet ski. So the reason I'm painting this picture, guys, I'm 20. I'm homeless. I'm broke, and I still gambled on myself. Put $1,000 a month on that card. And here's what I did. I did exactly what my coach told me, times 10. And my goal was simple. I wasn't trying to make money. I wasn't trying to get listings. I wasn't trying to get buyers. I had one goal. My one goal was to talk to at least 50 people a day. Mike Ferry used to say 20. I said 50. And here's what I did. I told young Tarek, you have 90 days to make this happen with real estate, or you're going back to school. Do you think I wanted to go back to school? Did not want to go back to school. So I worked 12 to 14-hour days, 6 days a week. And here's what happened. And this was all on expired listings and for sale by owners. I went from no money my entire life, 20-year-old kid, to literally months later, within 90 days, I ended up earning $120,000 selling houses. I mean, with inflation, that's like 47 million today. Maybe even more. So my life changed fast. So if you're in this room right now thinking, man, this is gonna take me years, it's not. You can make money fast in this business if you put in the work. That's it. I changed my life literally overnight. And it all came from calling. And guess who was the worst cold caller on the planet? I remember reading the scripts. If you sold this home, where would you go next? Like the whole thing. You know, and listen, people would cuss me out on the phone. I'd be like, ooh, contact. I get to go home after 50. I wanted to go home. So I started selling all these expired listings for sale by owners, and I was like, man, I'm the smartest guy alive. Of course, when you're that age, you just think you're so smart. So then I built a team, which definitely did not work out the way I wanted it to. But I learned so many lessons. And here's the cool part. I was living in my mom's garage. In less than 6 months later, I had moved into a $1 million house at 21 years old. And then this is where the story gets interesting. By 25, I had to sell my $1 million house and my cars and my watch and honestly my shoes. That's why I wear so many flip-flops. So I lost everything, or I had to sell everything in the Great Recession. So I've had some hard times in my life, right? So I started with nothing, found success young. By 26, 25, I had literally lost everything I built. I thought my life was over. But I never quit real estate, I kept going. And then it was I believe it was 2010. I had this crazy idea to flip houses. So just like when I was the young real estate agent, I was like, okay, I'm gonna flip houses. And I came up with the ideas because I saw all these people starting to make money. So of course, I went to every single person I knew. And I got the same nonsense I got last time. You're too young, it's too risky, you got no money, it's too speculative, blah, 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 blah. And guess what? You know how many of those people I was asking for advice were actually real estate investors? 0. So make sure you take your advice from the right people. Yes. Very, very important. Okay? So everybody said no. And of course, when someone tells me I can't do something, it pisses me off. Ask my wife. But I do whatever she says, trust me. I didn't get her on looks, okay? I'm a well-behaved husband. Hi, honey, if you're watching this, I love you. Okay, so a crazy idea to flip house. I finally found someone dumb enough to give me money. His name was Pete DeBest, who was, guess what? He was already a multimillionaire. So then I realized I just needed to ask the person that had money instead of everybody else. So then he gave me money for this flip. We go to the Santa Ana courthouse, we buy it for $115,000. Around that same time, I was at a real estate convention in Las Vegas, just like this, with 5,000 people in the room, okay? I was sitting in the very, very, very back because that's where I used to sit. I didn't want to be noticed. My friend was in the very front row. He was the vice president of a real estate company. His manager and the manager's wife left, and they said, hey, I got 2 seats in the front row, you want to come? I said, heck yeah, I want to come, let's do this. So I'm sitting in the very front row, and here's the interesting part. The night before, Mike Ferry told us, I'm actually telling all of this to you right now, it's my turn to give it to you. He told us to go out, buy clothing you can't afford. He told us to go eat a dinner we can't afford. He told us to order wine we would never order because it was too expensive. And that, to this day, was one of the most memorable moments of my life because for one night, I got to live the next level. Thank you. All right, so back to the story. So then I'm sitting in the front row, and at break, we're looking sharp. I'm in a Xenia suit. I didn't even know what Xenia was before the night before, right? So at the break, everybody's coming up, and in the front row, we usually have the VIPs, the people that do a lot of business, and one of the gentlemen I was talking to starts talking to me about how he built his brand. And he told me he had a local TV show in Palm Springs, California. I'm like, local TV, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm showcasing listings. I'm like, all right, well, what does that do? I mean, he's like, well, people recognize me. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool, but like, what does that do? He goes, well, they recognize me and then they work with me. And then I was like, genius. Genius. So then I leave Las Vegas. And I get home. I lived in San Clemente, California at the time. I was married to my Flipper Flop co-star, Christina Hawk at the time. And we were sitting in the living room, and I'm talking to her. I'm like, Christina, it's like, we got to get a TV show. What's the theme? Anything's possible, right? I'll never forget. She had one leg up the stairs. She looks at me, laughs at me, in a nice way, of course, shakes her head, says you're crazy, and says I'm going to bed. You want to know what I did? The genius thing I did, everybody wonders, like, oh, how did he do it? I got on Google. I typed Hollywood production companies. Take action. The key to my success is non-stop action. Don't wait, don't talk, just do it. And if you suck, who cares? Because the more you do it, the better you get. The better you get, the more success you find. Thank you. So long story short, I sent our pictures to all these different production companies, who we are, what we did. I woke up the next morning and a company wrote me back. They're like, hey, we like your stuff. Send a home video. Oh, here's the part I missed. I said, I'm gonna get a TV show. She goes, a TV show about what? I'm like, well, that's a good point. And I was like, well, we just bought a house to flip. She goes, yeah? Well, what if we flip houses on TV? And that was the birth of Flip or Flop in that exact moment.
And this was it. Looks like I'm closing the joint. Everybody left. I'm still here. Day 4. It's Friday. I got 2 more classes that I want to attend. One is the EXP Marketing Center, and the other one is Success Coaching. This was great. Made a lot of connections, met a lot of great realtors. So if you're moving out of California, think about moving out of California. I got great realtors in Texas, Florida, Idaho, South Carolina, North Carolina. So just hit me up, and if any agents are interested in talking about EXP, let me know. DM me. I'd be glad to talk to you about it. We have some great situations going on with new relocation companies sending us 1,000 referrals per month. It's a new deal that Glenn Sanford made with different relocation companies across the country. So anyway, if you want to chat about EXP or have any real estate needs, please let me know. And then more later.